Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I said I would wait till the resurrections for the 5th anniversary characters will get dropped. They did, and we also got the mid-month characters. We haven't been able to use them yet. I'm just going to roughly estimate where those characters are. We don't have a model or anything for them in-game either, or like their little icon. So I'll just like tell you where they are once we get to that specific attribute. But yeah. Let's just hop right into it. We're going to be going with the heart characters first. This was from last month's tier list. And, you know, obviously, as I say every single time, some of them, like A and S tier, aren't perfectly in order. I do try to rank SS tier mostly, like in terms of like best characters. But obviously A tier is just like kind of whatever. S is kind of ordered. And this is mainly going over Guild Quest, Limit Breaker, and Link Slot Trials, as that is mainly where you're going to be showcasing a character. We do have a PvP tier list. They're pretty much completely useless outside of raid battles anyways, so they're just there. No other use, to be honest. But yeah, for this one, all we realistically have is the Christmas Gremmy, and then the new end of the year 1000 above full bring Bankai Ichigo. So without further ado, let's go over Gremmy. So Gremmy is he's a melee Soul Reaper character. He has normal attack damage plus 35%. He has no status elements, but he has an interesting mechanic where he has an SA1 and an SA3 boost. I believe the SA1 boost is like the regular 30%, or it's even lower. But the SA3 is the thing that really sells him. Apparently it's a 50-ish, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's like a 50% boost for your attack, focus, and defense. And the SA1 doesn't like override it. So let's say he does like an SA3 first and then the SA1, the lower boost doesn't take over, which is a really good thing, because that would be terrible if he could take over with a worse boost. And then on top of that, he has the booster skill, Bruiser plus 70%, Enhancer plus 10 seconds, Flurry plus 1 or plus 2 in GQ, Killer Effect plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ, Long Reach, Marauder, Melee Damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ, Poise. He has the Start Barrier plus 15, which is very good in this new Nightmare Guild Quest. He has Dodge, Soul Reaper Damage, he has Sprinter plus 1, and then he has Weaken Duration for his respective Guild Quest phase. So he's actually a very good normal attack damage character. So where would I put him? Probably just like above the other NAD characters. Like I think he's probably the best NAD heart character in the game. Just from what I can think of off the top of my head. Like I don't see, like, there's no like insane like normal attack damage boost character or anything like that. There's none like Askin, who has Flurry 3 base with a Bruiser. Like there's just nobody like that. So I think he's like up there for it. Ikaku, you know, he just has a debuff. I think the boost is more impactful than a debuff. And I also believe he has melee collision, like a melee collision NAD string. I guess he's not ranged, so actually that doesn't matter. Never mind, he's melee. Never mind, I take that back. But going on to the 1000 above Ichigo. Like, do we have to even say anything? Like, he is insane. He's insane. Like, he has... I think Kenpachi actually does outscore him in Guild Quest because of his 2-stage charge strong attack, where he can one-shot 2 faces with his SA3. But either way, he gets like 57 seconds in Guild Quest when, like, if you absolutely try hard. But still, he is still an absolutely phenomenal character. Even if you don't try hard, like 1.5 was getting like 53 seconds in the Nightmare Plus Guild Quest. That's ludicrous. But what makes him so broken? So one thing is he only has 1 killer, but I think that if he had 2 killers, I think it'd be a bit too broken, to be honest. He has Quincy Killer Plus. He's a melee strong attack damage character. And then he has the new mechanic where he has Weaken Plus on all of his strong attacks. So it applies 75% weakening, I believe. And if anybody inflicts weakening or any other status element, he can still proc over top of them and still get his SP boost, so he doesn't get cucked. Like, let's say you're using Toshiro as a side to boost his damage output. Toshiro has a pretty good chance to proc, because I believe he has Sturmritter and Quincy status element increase, or at least just Sturmritter in general. So he would have a higher chance to proc. Plus, he has like Frenzy 2 base, I believe. So he has a very good chance to proc and freeze and ruin your run. But with Ichigo, he can still proc over top of Toshiro's freeze, which is an amazing feature. I feel like that should just be in general. But hopefully every main DPS character gets the plus status element. That way, one, they're better. They do more damage. And two, that way less RNG dependent, because the RNG aspect in Guild Quest is already high enough. I am sick of it, like an enemy getting frozen or lacerated when you have to inflict your own status on it, you know? On top of that, he has one of the best EX skills in the entire game. I think people still prefer Gremmy's, the one that Senjumaru picked up. But Ichigo picked up the 100% SP boost, which I believe is multiplicative. So basically, once you get your proc, your SP boost, you have your 80% SP boost, and then you multiply it by 100 or whatever. The math adds up to 360% SP boost, which is ludicrous. Very big number, big number. So yeah, and then his SA1, 3k length beam, SA2 is a 960, and then SA3 is a full screen strong attack. As well, he has a strong attack recharge time, minus 14%. Also, sorry about the airplane, that's very annoying. He has Berserker of 60% for his skills, complete status immunity plus 100%, debilitator of 5 seconds, devastation plus 60%, frenzy plus 3, and an increased status of a chance against Quincy's. Oh my goodness, he procs almost every single hit. He's amazing. Marauder, he has poise break outside of brave battles, which is very, very good now with the new Nightmare Plus, where they do have poise on wave 4 and 5, I believe. And then he has status or SP boost of 80%, weakened defense on top of his soul bomb. That very much helps him so that way he can one shot. For his innate skills, he has Havoc, Long Stride, and Sprinter plus 2. So he is just an absolutely amazingly fun character to use. He's extremely broken. I love all of his strong attack animations as well. I think without a shadow of a doubt, he is the best character in the Heart attribute. In the game, potentially, it's either Kenny or Grammy. It's kind of like up to you what you prefer. But for me personally, I think he's #1 character in the game. But, you know, it's kind of whatever you prefer. Also, guys, let me know down below. Should I start moving some of these characters down? So, like, some of these older NAD characters that we will just never use. Like, this Gin, we never use. Tokinada, hardly anybody uses unless you just don't have Orihime. Like, you know, these older NAD characters, you know? Like, should we start moving them down? Let me know down below. And I can do it in the next video. Like, some of them, like, it's just getting a bit cluttered. Like, this Chad is really bad. But he's just here just because he's like the only NAD character we had for a while. But I believe almost all of them have been replaced within the past year or two. So, like, yeah, they're still useful. But, like, you know, if they're like these older ones, like, maybe we should move them down a little bit. If they can't be used anywhere else, let me know. But either way, they're still great. It's just S is getting cluttered, you know? And then maybe I'll start moving down some of the A tier characters that we just never, ever use. And they're just really bad. But I don't know. I digress. Going on to the next attribute, as that is pretty much all we had for the Heart attribute. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're on the Technique attribute, and realistically all we have is Lil Toto, the Christmas version, and we just got the most recent Gin. This is the only image I have, so please bear with me. We don't have his actual icon yet, so I will be getting that later on. And then also, I'm not gonna lie, I want to bump down some characters from SS, because I'm sorry, but Toshiro is not SS. He's not SS. You don't use him in Limit Breaker Quest. He's been replaced by 2 characters in Guild Quest, maybe 1 technically. Like, Rukia feels amazing. I used her today. I think I might move her up, depending on who I have in front of her. But like today, like 1-5, she got 40-second clear in one go. I was like, oh my god, what did they change? They did something to make her really, really good. I don't know if it's because I used the punching bag and they made that a different multiplier or what, but she feels so much better. But Toshiro, I'm sorry, like, I think you're down by like Bambi. Like, you're better than Bambi. You are better than Bambi. Also, I think Rengiku is better than Bambi. Bambi sucks. That SA2 and the SA1, terrible. Quincy Ichigo, I think, is down as well. Just never use him. I'm on the verge of moving Ichibei too, because, like, he's still useful in Limit Breaker Quest, I guess. But, like, outside of that, like, nobody's using Bro in Guild Quest. Like, he's been replaced by, like, 500 different characters. But, you know, it is what it is. Personally, I just think they're not SS anymore. Like, Toshiro's gauge is just terrible. It really sucks. It takes forever to get. Once he gets his gauge, then it's really good. But he doesn't have any gauge recharge or anything, so it's like, It's not the best. And then Quincy Ichigo is just terrible in Guild Quest. The new Nightmare Plus just really killed him off. He only has increased chance against only speed enemies. He doesn't even have like immunity to his own Guild Quest phase. Like, yeah, maybe when we get more support for no affiliation, I believe he is. Maybe, but until then, I don't think he's him. I don't think he's that great. But let's go over Little Turtle. So Little Turtle is a melee Stormrider killer. She was meant to replace True Shikai Ichigo, which I think she does a pretty good job. Like, if you don't have a 5-5 Ichigo and you have a 1-5 Little Turtle, I think she does, like, very close to his damage output, I believe. This is only what I've heard. I haven't, like, used her or anything. This is purely only from what I've heard. I think she's a very good character, mainly in Guild Quest, though, because as you can see, she's going to have a little bit of flaws. She's a melee character. She has Drain and Lacerate and all of her strong attacks, and she's the first mid-month character to get an EX skill. I think it's just like a vortex around her, or like an attack around her. It's not like in front of her or anything, so it's kind of awkward. I could be a bit wrong in the EX. Could be a bit wrong. But yeah, it also gives you a barrier, which I think is very nice. And then her solo trait is strong attack recharge time minus 12%, and then damage to drained enemies of 30%. So it's a pretty decent link, especially when we get if we ever get a character that's really reliant on inflicting drain, then that could be a very good link for the technique attribute. As well as her skills has Team Party, Quincy damage to status summon affected enemies of 30%, a debilitator of only 2 seconds, which I think is pretty bad, but it is what it is. Devastation plus 60%, Frenzy plus 2 or Frenzy plus 3 in Guild Quest, Havoc of 20%, increased status summon chance against Quincy's, Killer effect plus 30 or plus 50 in Guild Quest. She has Marauder, and then she has melee damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ, an SP boost of 80%, and weakened defense. So as you can see, she's missing an extra skill or two. If she would have gotten Berserker or full stamina damage, that would have been amazing, and I think she easily would have surpassed True Shikai Ichigo in the Guild Quest phase. But I believe she needs to be 2-5 to surpass Ichigo at 5-5. You know, the Killer Plus, I don't even know if I said it, but she does have the Stern Ritter Killer Plus, so that definitely helps her. And then obviously, you know, like the Frenzy 3, the increased status summon chance against the enemies, and then all the Guild Quest skills is very good for Guild Quest. You know, and then the increased status summon the increased Quincy damage to status summon affected enemies is also very good. But it kind of sucks because it's like Grammy has that skill, so like she didn't really need that, but it is what it is. As for tech, I think she's fighting. I don't think she's above Shinji. I don't think she's above Shinji because he can be used like anywhere. She is like only Guild Quest, which kind of sucks. So like she's probably fighting Bambi. I would probably say above Bambietta because she does have the Killer Plus, and then you know she has. But honestly, I think it just comes down to the Strong Attack kit. I think she has a better Strong Attack kit. Bambietta has like a Link Slot Trials kind of Strong Attack kit. It's very like narrow and straight ahead, whereas Little Toto, I believe, if I check her attacks, so she has an AoE distance 750. It's decent. I believe that's like Yuha. If I can check. Similar SA1. Oh, that's funny. She has the same SA1 as Bambietta. Oh. Oh, is it a lunge then? Is that what that is? Well, either way, she has a 960 SA2 and then a full screen SA3 is what it looks like. So at least her SA2 is better. Yeah, 960 AoE distance. So her SA1 is kind of whatever. It's kind of meh. And then full screen SA3. But then the SA2 is where it really changes. That's a 960, which is very, very nice. Yeah, I think that's mainly what just helps her out damage her and just be better. So, yeah. But either way, if you think Bambi's better, it's whatever. It's one of those two for 4 slot. I think Shinji, Giselle, and Gremmy are easily better than Little Toto. Now for the new Gin. We only have his information in game, but he is a melee Captain Killer. He is mainly here to just be a support for the Tostro and Senju Maru, because right here, the Team Party Soul Reaper damage to status on affected enemies of 30%. He has a bruiser value of 50%, which is pretty good. But then he got like Berserker and whatever, which is kind of weird. And then damage taken minus 600%, which is super weird. Like, honestly, he should have been a debuffer if anything, because then, you know, he'd be good on like 1 or 2 bosses and really help you. Because we already have a booster. I don't think we need a booster with it because we have the Toshiro, the Captain Killer Toshiro. He also has the melee damage plus 10 or plus 30 in GQ, flurry plus 1 or plus 2 in GQ, and then the killer effect plus 30 or plus 50 in GQ. He's immune to the status summon on the ground. And then he has sprinter plus 1. He has long reach, that way he can stay a little bit out of range. And then dodge story per damage of 50% with the soul trait of normal attack damage plus 35%. He also has last rate on all of his strong attacks, so keep that in mind. And he's melee, if I forgot to mention. So I think he's a pretty good character. Mainly just more a buffer. So if I had to put this Gin anywhere, I think he would just be like below Orihime. We'll have to see how it goes though. But yeah, like I just don't think he's gonna be as good as Tenjiro. Because if I remember right, Tenjiro is just any technique character, right? Sword per damage, just status summon. But then he has the boost on top of that. That's why he's so much better. So he has the booster and then the soul rate per damage to status summon at the enemies plus 30%. So I guess if Gin would have gotten that, they would have almost been like the exact same, like genuinely, except he would have had a higher chance to proc status summons because he has like multiple status summons. Well, multiple strong attacks with status summons, but yeah. Yeah, about there. I think Orihime is still probably a better character because she has the booster, but I don't know. Maybe you can move him up a little bit, but either way, he's an S tier character. But yeah, that is pretty much about tech. On to the next attribute. Alright, so now we're on to the speed attribute. We have the Brave Battle Askin and then the Byakuya. And usually it's a PvP character. Oh no, so I'd usually put him in PvP, right? But no, he's actually a pretty good character outside of Brave Battles. Like genuinely, he's a very good link slot farmer character. I used him. He basically one-shots like anything because of his insane damage output, which is very cool. And then the 5th anniversary Byakuya, he just recently got his resurrection. I think I had him like high A tier. And honestly, I think he's actually pretty good. Is he like perfect? No. But I think he genuinely got a very good resurrection. So we can he's probably going to go up towards like S, maybe above these two. Because he's very consistent, unlike these two, because they... Yeah, I'll talk about when I get to them. But as for SS tier and speed, I don't think I realistically want to change anything. I think they're all fine. Yeah, I think they're all fine. I think I moved everyone down last time, and that's good enough. Like, it's getting close where I might cut these two off, but everyone else I think is fine. But yeah, let's go over Askin. So Askin is mainly a Brave Battle character. He has Stern Ritter Killer and Soul Reaper Killer. He has an SA2 boost, and then he has Poison Plus on all of his strong attacks except for his SA2. And then he has like the Brave Battle skills, you know, Persistence, Prevent Last Ditch Survival, Decrease Damage Taken minus 50%, Booster of 30%, Brave Battle Temporary Invincibility. He has Bruiser plus 50%, which is what's really key here. Disabler plus 10%. If you don't know what Disabler is, I didn't even know this until this character dropped because I haven't seen it in literally forever. It is a skill where he has an increased chance to proc his status ailment against any character in the game. Doesn't matter the attributes, the affiliation, nothing. That is amazing. I would love an SP character like this, to be honest. That would be broken. So that's why he's so good in Link Slot Trials, because he can inflict on literally any affiliation in that Link Slot Trial. So he has a really good chance to proc, so he can break through the Iron Skin, and then he just does insane damage because he has the Enhancer as well. So with the Enhancer and the Booster, he gets an extra 43% attack and focus with the 43% defense as well. And then he has Flurry 3 on top of that. And then, you know, his other stuff. Brave Battle Invincibility, or Ignore Brave Battle Invincibility, and Poise. And then with that, he has the Long Reach, Sharpshooter, and Stretcher plus 1. So it's not like he doesn't have Guard Break or anything. He does have that built in with the Sharpshooter. But for his base damage, he has base Flurry 3, base Bruiser 50%, and the Disabler to increase his status element proc, which is amazing. Imagine if this unit had an S or an attack boost. Oh my god. But now, where would I put him? Honestly, he might be top of S tier. I don't know if he deserves to be SS tier because, yet again, a lot of his skills are mainly meant for Brave Battles. And then he also does not have any status immunities. So if you bring him into like a guild quest, let's say, for example, you're going to have to give him immunity or have a side character that just gives him complete status immunity. or it's just a phase that doesn't have like freeze or something on the ground. But I believe Soul Ripper has weakening, and then Stern Ritter I think is paralysis. I believe, I could be wrong, but either way, you're probably gonna want to make him immune so that way he doesn't lose out on his damage. You know, that way you can give him full stamina, recharge links and whatnot. But yeah, I think he's high S. You know, maybe if someone gives me a good enough reason to put him in SS, then sure. But he's mainly a Brave Battle character, and then he can be used in Guild Quests. And he's just really good in Link Slot Trials. Like, unfortunately, he'll never be a good Limit Breaker character. He'll just be way too slow. But I think it'd be kind of cool to test him out one day if he ever gets all the right rules. I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. But yeah. Going on to 5th Anniversary Byakuya. Now, unfortunately, the BBS character page hasn't updated his skills or anything yet, so we will be going off the BBS form, or like the character model in-game. For his innate skills, he ended up picking up complete status immunity and then full stamina only, increased strong attack damage of 30%, as well as he ended up picking up an extra 16% strong attack damage, minus 17 because of the new attribute tree system. So it's a pretty good link. Wish he would have gotten the same link as Ryukin, but I guess they just didn't want to. It's whatever. It's still a good link. Not insane, but it's still fine. On top of that, he did not get any extra Bruiser or Berserker, which is unfortunate. And then he actually got Devastation of 40%. I didn't realize he got this, but he did end up picking up that. I just thought it was always built in, but it wasn't. I was reading the Bruiser every time I read that. As well as he got... he already had Bombardment actually, but he got increased damage to enemies not afflicted by an ailment, plus 50%. And then he got weakened defense on top of that. So he got a pretty good overall damage buff. Was it like groundbreaking? No, I still think he's a good character, but to be honest, I think he's just like above these characters. Like, these characters are at least good sides in Guild Quest. You know, Shinji buffs them. Actually, I'm gonna drop Gin down. Gin genuinely has no use. He's a link slot autoer, or like a scroll autoer for me, or used to be. Gantabane is a farmer, so he has a little bit of value there. You know, Mila Rose the farmer. These characters are all farmers. Nad character in Guild Quest. Nad character in Guild Quest. Buff for Guild Quest. That sort of thing. At least they're like good, usable characters in Guild Quest or stuff like that. So, and Guild Quest is like the main thing that gets you value or orbs in this game. So that's why they're there. But, you know, if you want to move Byakuya a little higher, I wouldn't like fight you. Like, I think he's still good. I just think that these characters are just, they have like no place, and that's kind of what Byakuya is. Like, he just has no place. But, you know, you can move him around lower or higher a little bit. I don't know, but I still think he is an S tier character. I think he's very, very good. The only thing I think, though, is his SA1 kind of sucks. I believe it's the 18% shave. But outside of that, I think he's a good character. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the speed attribute. Nothing else to say here. Yeah, let's go on to the next attribute. Alright, we are back for the power attribute, and to be honest, I'm still fine with the power list. I did see that Basby performed pretty well, so I was honestly kind of contemplating on putting him above Ulk, simply because he did get replaced by Retsu in his Guild Quest phase, but he is only a Guild Quest character, whereas Ulk, you can use him in Limit Breaker, Link Slot Trials, all that, and at least he has Berserker, unlike Basby, so I don't know. If you want to move Basby up a little bit, sure, go for it. I think he's just here. It's whatever. Also, yet again, should we move down some of these characters like Safui Kisuke? Like, you know, I don't know. Either way, I don't know. Bruno, maybe. Genjo, like, I don't know. They're kind of bad. Either way, let's go over Rukia's resurrection. Rukia, I think, got a pretty good resurrection. It wasn't what a lot of people were hoping. You know, a lot of people were hoping a little bit better. You know, mainly Frenzy too. But it is what it is. She is in a Ronkar and Espada killer. She got strong attack recharge time minus 12%, damage to frozen enemies of 20%, and then she has freeze on all of her strong attacks. I cannot remember exactly what got upgraded because I only have the up-to-date resurrection, but now she has a Berserker of 60%, Bruiser of 20%, damage to frozen enemies of 30%, I believe that's new, Devastation of 40%, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Frenzy plus 1, unfortunately no Frenzy plus 2, Havoc plus 20%, Recover 20% stamina, Sprinter plus 1, and then she got the 50% SP. That was like the biggest thing, to be honest. And then she ended up getting freeze duration minus 100%, weaken duration minus 100%. I got very angry at this because I was like, why did they do this? But I literally forgot that she has 2 killers. That's why I was so vocal about this as being stupid, but I forgot she has 2 killers, so it makes sense why she has these 2 immunities. And then she has post-transformation 10-second disabler. So yeah, you get a transformation where if you transform, you actually get all your strong attacks back, and you get an increased chance against every enemy in the game. You get disabler just like how Askin did, which is very good since she has the SP boost. So it's actually a really good, really good resurrection. Now, as to where I would put her, honestly, I think she has a really good strong attack kit. I think she's a really good character. I think she's above Kenpachi. I think she's above Nell. Like, she's only a 5 super link slot potion farmer. Like, I don't know if she can actually be used in the, what is it, melee Arrancar Guild Quest. I feel like she wouldn't have enough damage output for Nightmare Plus. I haven't seen anyone say that they've cleared with her, so I have to assume that she can't. So I would probably put her up here. Like, I think she's like high S. Like, I think she got a very, very, very good resurrection. Genuinely. Like, literally all she needed was the SP boost. Like, she feels super fluid. Like, is she, like, absolutely insanely broken? No. But I think the reason they didn't get her with Frenzy 2 is because of the disabler. I completely forgot about that when I did my first initial reaction. Also, I was barely even showing her. Up here. Could you move her down or up? Sure. But, like, I don't know. Maybe above Ichigo. He's only a droplet farmer. Maybe above Ichigo. He's only a droplet farmer. I can't lie. They did him so dirty. That, like, you don't even farm droplets anymore in this in the game mode. I don't know. But like out of all the SP characters, like Eburn, like he's a farmer, sure. Kenpachi, you haven't used him since the nuking meta. Ever since Very Hard Guild Quest came out, he just kind of fell off. Any other SP unit like Kisuke, Bruno, they are not doing anything. Mayuri, he sucks as well. Like, I don't know. You could probably even argue against this Rukia, but yet again, I've at least seen her clear the Nightmare Guild Quest, so yeah. And I have used her quite a few times in Limit Breaker whenever it calls for a ranged power farmer or ranged power character. So yeah. It's probably like this. Can't wait to see how Misaki performs in this Guild Quest. Maybe she'd go up higher, but at the moment we haven't been able to use her yet, so maybe this will change. But yeah, going to the next character. Probably the best power character that... No, I guess... I don't know. I honestly don't know if she's number 1. I was going to say probably, but... We will have to wait to see her Guild Quest, okay? So, I'll say this right now. I think she's an amazing character. She has Guild Quest skills, but she doesn't have any missing skills besides Frenzy 3. Like, if she had Frenzy 3 everywhere, then sure, she would probably be number 1 power character, but I still think she's an absolutely phenomenal character. I just don't know if she is the number 1 power character in the entire game. I'm going to say she's number 2 at the moment, because Mugetsu Link also plays into the whole thing. I hope she's number 1. I hope that when her Guild Quest drops, she literally gets like a 54-second clear at like 1.5. That would be amazing, because apparently Mugetsu at 5.5 can't get that. So there's that. And I would love to showcase her in Limit Breaker Quest too, if we actually get a Soul Reaper Guild Quest or Soul Reaper Limit Breaker Quest where she is a melee, like where they have melee boost. That's what I hope we get, but let's wait and see. We haven't had a chance to be able to showcase her in Limit Breaker Quest, but she yet again is a Captain Killer only, so you know, I don't know how well she'll perform there. But I think she's going to be better than Soifan, also mainly because Soifan doesn't have Guard Break, and in the most recent Limit Breaker, I've heard she feels awful. Like, 1.5 Byakuya was better than the Soifan, mainly because she just didn't have the Guard Break, which is so unfortunate that she didn't get that, because she probably would have been number 1 power. But, you know. Yeah, let's just go over Senjumaru's kit now. So she's a melee Captain Killer Plus. They should have given her a base Soul Reaper killer, in my opinion. I think that's what all boss killers should get, by the way. Just a base killer. That way, at least, when it's a Limit Breaker for Soul Reapers, you can at least get that, like, multiplier in, you know? Not Killer Plus, because then that's for 2 guild quests, and that would just, you know, you would summon less, and they don't want you to do that. Base Soul Reaper would have been better, to be honest. That way you can at least get the multiplier. And then she has a soul trait of strong attack recharge time minus 12%, and then damage inflicted at full stamina of 20%. And then she has the plus status summons on all of her strong attacks, but it's a bit different. She has freeze on her SA1, paralysis on her SA2, lacerate on her SA3, and then drain on her EX and her soul bomb. And then her EX has the Gremmy one, where it's a 30%, I believe, boost and debuff, which is probably the best EX skill in the game. It's either that or Kenpachi's, one or the other. And then for her skill, she has 40% Berserker, so she already has full stamina damage and Berserker. So that's already better than any other Guild Quest character with Guild Quest skills. Like, because people are saying, oh, Guild Quest skills, oh, it's over, but that's because they didn't have Berserker, or they didn't have SP boost, or they had no full stamina. Like, Retsu is a great character, even though she does have Guild Quest skills. Like, she's an amazing character. She just kind of suffered in Lemon Breaker Quest, I can't lie. But outside of that, like in Link's Out Trials or Guild Quest, she's an absolutely phenomenal character. Absolutely amazing character. But I digress. So she has Berserker 40%. She has Bombardment +1, Debilitator +5 seconds. She has Frenzy +2 or +3 in Guild Quest. She has an increased status summon chance against Soul Reapers +10%. Killer Effect +30 or +50 in Guild Quest. She has Marauder, melee damage +10 or +30 in Guild Quest. Poise, she has Poise Break, because yet again, every enemy in Wave 4 and 5 are going to have Poise. And then she has the SP boost of 80%. On top of that, with the weakened defense. And then the Soul Tree, her innate skills is Havoc of 20%, Paralysis Duration -100%, and a Sprinter of 2. Her strong attack kit, by the way, because I will mention this, because this is what probably helps her become one of the best characters in the game, because she has a really good strong attack kit. Her SA1 is a AoE distance 750, which is great. SA2, 960 AoE distant. And then her SA3 is a full screen. So, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous strong attack kit. Who are they similar to? SA1 is similar to Lil Toto and Rukia. SA2 is the 960, just like the Heart Byakuya, as a lot of people really enjoy. The Lil Toto, Basby, that kind of thing. And then SA3 is just like almost any SP character out nowadays. So I think she has a very good strong attack kit, which very much helps her. So she's probably number 1 or number 2, because I will say Mugetsu does not have Debilitator, so he doesn't keep his SP boost. Like, it literally goes away immediately after your strong attack. And so if you're not one-shotting enemies, like in the old Nightmare Guild Quest that you could, you have to keep reapplying the SP boost. So honestly, she might be number 1. Senjumaru might be number 1, but I'll have to wait and see. So I will come back to this video, and I will see, because who knows? This is only on paper. She could fall off. We don't know. So right now, I will keep her number 2. But if she performs amazingly in Guild Quest, even at 1 out of 5, because mine is only 1 out of 5 right now, I will come back and I'll like put an edit down below, like, oh, Senjumaru did amazing. She's number 1, blah, 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 blah. So just keep that in mind. We'll have to wait because she has the new mechanic where she has multiple status summons and all that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like she's gonna be number 1. I honestly hope she is number 1. So yeah, I'm really hoping she is number 1, but we'll wait and see. Now it's on to the Ichigo the 5th anniversary Ichigo. Yet again, I only have this. This is the only thing I can go off of. So he's a hollow Ronkai killer. He has strong attack recharge time -12%, and then the full stamina only increased strong attack damage +20%. Wish Byakuya got the soul trait instead, but it's fine, it's fine. So a very good soul trait, more SP than the Orihime, I do believe, so he replaces her. He has weakening on all of his strong attack, including the SA3 charge, so it's a pretty good strong attack there. For his innate skills, he ended up picking up complete status immunity and the Enervator for every 5 seconds. But the normal attack damage, the Bruiser and Berserker stayed the same. Devastation, he already had that. And then that is from his soul trait. And then basically he got 30% damage to weakened enemies and weakened defense, and that's it. That was genuinely it. Like, it wasn't that great of a boost. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't that impressive. No SP boost or anything. Like, I don't know. I don't know where he is, honestly. Like, he might be above Kisuke. He's probably like around here. But he does have a good strong attack kit. Honestly, I think I'm moving Mayuri down below these guys. Mayuri is so bad. I hate this Mayuri. His strong attack kit is so bad. I don't know. I think he's like around here. You could put him higher. You could put him higher. But his, like, it did help him. Like, he's better than Ryukin. He's better than this Stark. Like, he can still, like, one-shot enemies in Link Slot Trials. Like, he's better than this Nemu. He's better than Orihime, you know? Like, he's better than, like, any of these characters here. So, he honestly might be better than these two characters, too. But at least, Iba has support. Like, he does boost Soul Reapers, Power Soul Reapers for Guild Quest. And Jushiro's a coin drop farmer, I guess. Like, you know. So, like, yeah, you could move him up somewhere. But it just wasn't a very impressive boost, to be honest. And Power's, like, one of the worst attributes. So, him being here when Byakuya is, like, in the same spot isn't that much of a showcase for Ichigo. Alright, definitely did not forget to do the Power Tosho. Definitely did not forget to. But yeah, he's the new Power Link Slot Farmer. All of his distracts have freeze. He has a range strong attack kit as well. He is a Ranger Ronkar killer, so you know that's pretty decent. His sword trait is strong attack damage of 35%. He has innate skills of Sprinter +1, Havoc with 20%, Guard Break plus hidden enemies, a Berserker value of 40%, Devastation +60, Weakened Defense, Technique Link Slot Potions +5, Super Technique Link Slot Potions +10, Frenzy +2, damage to frozen enemies of 40%, Recharge -12%, SP boost of 80%, and then an increased status summon chance against Technique attribute enemies. So, if you don't know, this is like the only good farmer now. Like, Ruka is only a potion character, Momo sucks, Yumachika sucks, this Neliel is only 5 Super Link Slot Potions, Mashiro is legitimately just a Link. Like, also I'm using this icon. This Tosho is amazing. Like, for power farmers specifically, he's amazing. I will say though, his strong attack kit is very underwhelming. It is a 18% shave, I believe, or it is the Halle Bell version where it's a 40% shave. Either way, not the best. Would have preferred a bit better. You know, to make the, but it is a mid-month character, so fair enough. And then his SA2, I believe, is a Suction Vortex, I believe. So, yet again, just a lot of hits to proc your status summon. Not like an insane amount of hit, or not an insane amount of damage, like not, you know, like a 960, or, you know, like a Vortex, like an actual, like, Suction, or not an actual, like, homing Vortex. So, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. Wish he would have had a little bit better kit. But either way, he's still the best power farmer in the entire game. So, honestly, I'm just going to put him above the Ichigo and just call it there. Like, no other farmer gets close to him besides, unless you want to farm droplets, then you would just use this droplet Ichigo, or you would go for a character like Eburn, I guess, because he has droplets, potions, all that kind of stuff, and then you would just give him a Shiro Link for the Super Link Slot Potions. But yeah, just wanted to add him in because I literally forgot. So yeah, on to the next attribute. Alright, so for a lot of people, this is the best resurrection in the game. The 10-year later Ichigo. And honestly, he feels amazing in Link Slot Trials. He also became one of the best boosters for Melee Captain and Soul Reaper. So that's actually pretty good. I think mainly just Melee Soul Reaper because Melee Captain already has a good booster, the new Captain Toshiro. But anyways, he's still a really good character. And as long... Also for the Rukia, I did mention I would probably move her up, but I don't know if she's better than Retsu, to be honest. You could probably argue, say like, yeah, she's better than Retsu, no, she's not better than Retsu, whatever. I think it's like this. You could probably move Candace up too, it's whatever. I think these ones are interchangeable. Also, I think I'm moving Ishin up. Yuha, like, he feels terrible in Limit Breaker Quest now because he only has Weakening, like... I don't know. He has no increased status summon chance as well. Double Soul Bomb, I just don't think is that great. Like, it's just not that needed anymore, considering Ishin, like, one strong attack does almost as much as his Soul Bomb anyway. So, I don't know. I think Ishin is just better. I think Yuha still has the better strong attack kit, but Ishin just has so much more damage. He has the increased chance against heart attribute enemies. So, granted, it's not like the most insane thing for Guild Quest, but I still think it is better. And I also believe he outscores Yuha and Guild Quest anyways, so yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with that. Now onto Ichigo's resurrection. So Ichigo got a pretty goddamn great resurrection. He got the full stamina only increased strong attack damage of 20%. And then I guess I'm going to go over all of his kit because I don't have exactly what he picked up because I don't have his old skills. He has the recharge minus 12% as well. He has no status elements. He got Berserker of 60%, Bombardment plus 1, Booster of 30%, Bruiser plus 40%. He did get damage taken, or at least he already had it, which really sucked. I wish he got Purity here. That way he would just do more damage. Like, why not? Like, if there's like an enemy on the field, you know, it's not procced by a status summon in Go Quest, at least you would do more damage. I think the damage taken is very garbage because you're probably going to give him full stamina damage linked with recharge anyways. So, yeah, kind of a wasted skill there. Wish they removed that. But either way, he has Enhancer plus 10 seconds, a Frenzy plus 2 from a Frenzy plus 1, which is amazing. Havoc plus 20%, Marauder, and then Sprinter plus 2. On top of that, his Soul Tree, he got a 100% chance to hit dodging Soul Reapers, and then Paralysis and Weakened Duration minus 100%. So he's immune to his entire Guild Quest phases. So now where would I put him? It's tricky. It is tricky. I wonder if he might just go either above Ikaku or whatnot, because he's still a booster, so he's a really, really good booster. Or does he just go with the other booster or NAD character sides? I don't know. It kind of depends on how you like, or on how the character is, or like how you view Guild Quest. I think he's a very good character. I think he's high S, is the best I can say. I mean, I think he's better than Nini. Like, Nini has like almost no use, besides like being a decent character in ranged hollow. But like 1 out of 5, like she just feels terrible. Ichigo as well. Like this Ichigo I just don't really like in Guild Quest. He can barely clear the new Nightmare Plus. But then again, Ichigo I don't think is clearing either, so I can't really give that to him. I think he might just be above this Oak, because at least these two are farmers, you know, they give some value to their account. Ichigo is just like a slightly better booster than some of the other characters, but he's still great. He's still great. But, yeah, I would say around there. You know, give or take. You could probably move him up. Move him a little down a bit if you want. Not too much. But, yeah, I think that's about it for mine. I think that's about it for the tier list. So, yeah, final checks. You know, you can move a character down or up a little bit, as I said. Like, it's no big deal if you're just like, oh, I think, you know, Oetsu's number 1. Or, oh, I think Yachu is better than Oetsu, even though that's 100% wrong. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just, this is how I think they are. Obviously, there might be a little bit of like, oh, no, not really, you know, but I don't know. I think it looks good. I think it looks fine. But, yeah, I think that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys had an amazing day. Let me know down below who is your favorite character in each attribute, or like, who do you think is the best character in each attribute? Kind of curious what you guys think. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Peace out, and take care.